That's definitely working. Okay, gotta turn off the CCR. Hello. How is everybody? Just me for now, but maybe I'll record one tomorrow, which is today when you're hearing this. Hello. Welcome to a quick midnight snack. I'm Danny Calais, your host. Just a fun weekend. I get very busy too. That's why there's no interview. I'm sorry. But fun stuff happened. So I will talk about that. It was the big one. I did it's a date show on Friday, and if you're new, It's a Date is a wonderful show produced by Jaylene Tran. She is a past guest on this podcast. I help her run that show. It is basically a live first date. You get to ask questions, and you see a first date unfold in front of you. And part of the show is you can throw up, the yellow. You get a paddle with two sides. The yellow side, that's the one you put up for the questions, and the pink one, pink side. If you put that up, that means you would like to swap out someone on stage, one of the contestants on a date, because you see someone who could be your future partner. You see someone that you want to go on a date with. You say, forget this scrub, I'm better. So it's a very fun show. It can get very chaotic, especially in Worcester, because that's what Worcester, Massachusetts is. It's a chaotic place. And it was very fun. It was a Barbie themed show. Jaylene's great with that. So she saw Barbie. It's crazy right now. She made a little Barbie photo shoot booth. With some props. It was a good time. Everybody was dressed up. A couple other crew members. Shout out Joe Fenty, another past guest and very successful content creator. He was Beach Ken. I wore a suit. I was well-dressed Ken, I guess. I don't know. It was fun. Everybody was having a good time. And someone who was having a great time was this woman who was a little in the bag and a little older, but having a good time. She's throwing up the yellow paddle, asking questions, being a good audience member. And as the night went on, she, I guess, got more in the bag and decided that the 27-year-old male contestant on stage was her person that she wanted to go on a date with. And oh boy, is that when the show went from good to great. Because it was the energy there is palpable. It's electric. You see a what you visually guess to be almost a 40-year difference with a man, a young man and a cougar. Everybody was like, hell yes, this is going to be hilarious. And it turned out to be exactly what we all wanted it to be. She told some incredible stories. So the contestants before that was it. They were both dancers. So one of the questions, somebody was like, you should give him a lap dance and then he should give you one. And everybody was like, yeah, we're all horny. Let's watch that. So that's how it happened. That's how lap dance got to be the topic of conversation. So somebody called back question, very funny, to the, I'm going to guess 65-year-old woman, said, you should give your date a lap dance. And everybody got a good kick out of that. And then the sound guy just dropped a music cue, and she rolled with it. He rolled with it. And boy, was it funny. Wow, did that level the room. So I took a video of that, posted it, obviously. Turns out, friend of a friend's mom. Oops. Didn't mean for you to see that. That's my bad. Genuinely, I am sorry. But your mom is very funny. At least she was that night. I don't know what she's like as a mom, but she made that show go from a 8 or a 9 to a 11 or 12 out of 10. That was goddamn funny. And my buddy texted me, and he did this thing that is so annoying where he texted me and was like, "Oh, you know that person who was on stage last night?" And I said, "No, I don't." I was up close and personal with her. I'm positive I don't know who this person is. And he just kept sending eye emojis, and it's so like, guess, and I hate that feeling because it's the slightest little bit of power that someone can have over you, and then they just hammer it home sometimes of like, guess what, you don't know. It's like, just fucking tell me then. This isn't trivia. I'm not gonna win let's just have a conversation. So I was getting that a ton, and I threw out a couple guesses, and finally I was like, I don't know. I don't know. We know about 6 of the same people. I've just recently met you a couple years back. You gotta tell me. I'm out of guesses. And so he told me, and then immediately that switch of like I have this little bit of power, this little bit of knowledge that you don't have. Immediately he went into like, "Oh fuck, I regret that. I shouldn't have told you. Why did I do that?" And I was like, What do you think is gonna happen? I haven't talked to this mutual friend in over a year. It's like, I'm not gonna text them and be like, "Dude, your mom, whoo, she cannot give a lap dance, but it is funny." Right? Like, what the? Yeah, it's not like. Apparently, why I'm apologetic is that apparently, the person who saw was quote unquote mortified that I made this my story. And again, I didn't know that this was their guardian. I didn't know that this was their parent. This was just a human having a good time at a show that I work. Damn, I'm not going to text them and bring that up. That would be so fucking weird. We can just have a good laugh about it. We're all adults. That's, I think, the biggest thing that I've been thinking about this for a bit now, because on the drive home, I drove, we were in Worcester, going back to Boston. It's like 45, 50 minutes. I was talking to Joe about it, and we were, getting into the nooks and crannies of it all, thinking about how it was really cool to see someone who societally you might see them and think like they're more reserved and make some snap judgments about them based on their age, but they were there to fucking party and have a good time. And that was cool to see. That someone in the, entering that last quarter of the book, so to say, they're not rapping on death's door or anything. I don't want to make that impression, but parent age, I know that that's very vague, but like baby boomer parent age. That's a little more specific. Someone that you'd make some judgments about, and it turns out that they made the show. They were the life of the party. And I think that would be pretty cool if that was your parent and, you know, in a room full of 100, 120 people, whatever it was, sold out show, people are going home thinking like, wow, remember that woman? Like, she was hysterical, made the night. And that's cool. I mean, it's not like I was at the Glass Slipper and this woman was a top-notch dancer. No, this woman probably has an AARP card and may have gotten hip surgery. I mean, she got that leg over him. It looked like a fucking crane moving a wrecking ball. It was not pretty. It was funny. It was not pretty. It was just a good time. And you don't know, when was the last time they let loose like that? Who knows? I don't know what their life is like, but that could have been the first time in a while. Let their hair down like that and have some fun at the Barbie It's a Date show. And I think that's cool too. It's obviously weird. I'm not denying it, to see, again, that metallic swan of a leg rise up like a steel pipe with no grace and just plop down over a 27-year-old guy. Sure, it's not easy. But people are people. People like to have sex. Your parents are people. It's a very strange concept, but how you got here, your parents might have not been trying to get you here. They might have just been trying to have some fun. And then all of a sudden, 7-year-old you is like, ew, mommy and daddy kissed. That's gross. And one of them is like, shut up, you little shit. We didn't even... God, you shouldn't even see us kiss right now. It's a strange thing that for all the violence, again, this is just such a classic talking point, but for all the violence that is shown in the world and talked about, sex is still this ridiculous taboo to discuss, which I think is partially why this It's a Date show has caught on and gained a lot of popularity like it has, is because it's a safe space and a community where people do let their walls down and talk about the taboos and joke about them and wash away some of that stigma behind it all. Because you might think you are weird for liking something, but 2 rows over from you, there's someone who likes getting their feet tickled. Who knows? And you want to tickle some feet. I don't know. But that's what I'm saying. It's there's a lot of repression around this topic where people are then mortified at just some funny instance that happened at a show. It's just weird too to think about that contrast between television showing violence versus sex. Is like, I used to come home from elementary school and make myself a plate of quote unquote nachos, which was just Munster cheese melted in the microwave over Tostitos. And I would watch like 2 hours of this show called FBI Files, which was just exactly what it sounds like. Dramatized cases from the Bureau where bank robberies, kidnappings, murders, rapes, I mean, the whole gambit, baby. And there I am munching my little plate of snacks like, hell yeah, this is entertainment. This is definitely not going to do anything weird to my brain in the future. I won't have any quirks. I won't make sure the door is locked 9 times before going to bed at night. But meanwhile, like, and there was no question about, who cares? That was, Danny's just watching his stories. But you could feel, if people, if the family was around hanging out and we were watching a movie or whatever together, and there was just a scene of two people kissing, like, that feeling you get when you're watching a movie with your family and a sex scene comes up. It's so uncomfortable. And sure, of course, it's going to be a little uncomfortable, but why isn't the same uncomfortability felt when, Scarface or whatever is on and you as a family, are watching it and Tony Montana sprays into the shower and, chainsaw comes. It's crazy. It's just, there's not that energy shift during that violent scene of like, oh God, why are we? Oh God, this is so uncomfortable. Can someone just please fast forward this and then we don't have to talk about it? There's none of that. It's just this. It's just such a weird thing that everyone loves. We all got here because of it. But the second that a fingernail comes out of that discussion, you got to lock it down. So, to not lock it down, I am sorry to that person who was mortified that they saw what they saw. I am sorry. But I pose this uncomfortable question. Whatever you like, your kinks, they had to come from somewhere. Is it nature or is it nurture? Accept that people are people. Even if it's your parent unathletically giving a lap dance. All right. Have a good Monday.